Welcome everyone to the Blockchain Group Financial Year 2024 Annual Results and Financial Year 2024-2025 BTC Strategy Update. The Blockchain Group is Europe's first Bitcoin Treasury company listed on Euronext Growth Paris, ticker LTBG. First, quick disclaimer and risk factors. Please make sure to check them out, listed on this slide, and important information about BTC KPIs that we have adopted. First, a quick introduction. The largest institutions are adopting Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the best performing asset over 15 years. It had the best ETF launch in the history of all ETFs, and it is the best strategic reserve for the US government. The only asset the US government does not want to sell and plans to accumulate. So the only thing better than Bitcoin is more Bitcoin. And TBG is Europe's first Bitcoin treasury company. We had in America and the world Strategy, the first and largest Bitcoin treasury company and the inventor of this business model. In Asia, we had Metaplanet, leading and best performing stock last year with plus 2,800 last year and plus 700% in 1 year since the launch of their strategy. Strategy itself about 3,000% in 5 years since the launch of their strategy. And in Europe, now we have the Blockchain Group since 5 November 2024, and we have achieved a performance of plus 474% in about 6 months since the launch of our strategy. The strategy is simple. It is to raise capital, to accumulate Bitcoin, to hold Bitcoin forever, to not lose the Bitcoin, and to not sell the Bitcoin. This is the MicroStrategy, now strategy playbook. And Bitcoin treasury companies can, with this playbook, achieve more Bitcoin. TBG is therefore focused on maximizing Bitcoin per share over time. In Q4 2024, between November and December, we achieved 141% BTC yield. In Q1 2025, we achieved 709% BTC yield. This is an evolution between 41 sats per share to 332 sats per share. And in this period, we have outperformed Bitcoin by plus 300%. Over this period, Bitcoin did plus 30%. The Blockchain Group did 474%. So, how Bitcoin treasury companies can outperform Bitcoin? Well, more Bitcoin is achieved by increasing BTC yield for shareholders. So, before going into more detail on our strategy, let me give you more detail around the publication of our financial results for 2024. First, the Blockchain Group's activities. The Blockchain Group is Europe's first Bitcoin treasury company, and it also has operational activities. eOrga is specialized in tailor-made web applications, MetaDev3 in decentralized tech development for our clients as a consulting service, and Treman in data intelligence and AI consulting. Our governance and strategic investors include a leadership team that is lean and focused on Bitcoin with our chairman Jean-François Descaves, an ex-president of an asset manager, Ludovic Chochin-Laurent, also the co-founder of Capital Union Bank, the largest bank in the Bahamas, and Jean-Philippe Casadepac-Soulet, Chief Executive Officer of the Blockchain Group and also founder of eOrga, one of the operating companies. And myself, Deputy CEO and Director of Bitcoin Strategy. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist and I'm here to implement the strategic playbook at European scale level. Prior to that, I was digital assets lead at Accenture, where I was working with the major banks over the world to implement their digital asset custody, payments, and tokenization services. We have strategic investors such as Fulgor Ventures, Adam Back, UTXO Management, and Tobam. Those are globally renowned investors that we are glad to have with us and honored. About our operational activities, Treman is harnessing data and AI for enhanced business intelligence with AI strategy advisory, data engineering, data science, and AI analytics for data visualization and advanced business intelligence. Iorga on its side is delivering tailor-made digital applications with full-stack development and blockchain-based applications that we also intend to make evolve around the Bitcoin ecosystem. Now, TBG 2024 financial results. Last year, we generated 13 million plus revenues and 1.3 million net income, confirming a successful return to profitability compared to last year and confirming the success of the group's strategy back in December 2023 when there was a complete change of the management, change of the board of directors, and change of the major strategic investors to focus on profitability with the two major subsidiaries, Iorga and Treman, and the activities of data analytics and AI with tailor-made digital solutions with Iorga and Treman. On the balance sheet side, we've been strengthening the balance sheet on a Bitcoin standard since 5 November 2024. Conclusions is that FY24 is still impacted by the restructuring started in December 2023, despite a return to profitability. Continuation plan was validated back in July 2024 with the confirmation of the return to profitability since half year 2024. The launch of the BTC strategy has been supporting TBG recapitalization, and we now have a stronger financial structure due to our BTC acquisitions. Now let's focus on the Bitcoin Treasury company. TBG is at a turning point of its history. It has had many different lives. It started as a media agency. It then invested in many companies, and some of them were not profitable. And so, back in December 2023, there was a major restructuring that led to the sale and to the liquidation of the companies that were not profitable. And that is what led to the return to profitability of the group in a very short period and to the possibility to launch a successful Bitcoin Treasury company strategy. That is why I joined, is because we have now two operational companies that are profitable and that allows for the launch of a successful Bitcoin Treasury company that we started on November 5, 2024. Since then, we are Europe's first Bitcoin Treasury company. We are the number one stock performer out of all stocks traded in Paris over 6 months as of 29 April 2025. And year to date, we have achieved a 709.8% BTC yield. Now, the key milestone of our Bitcoin Treasury company strategy. We launched the strategy on 5 November 2024 with a 1 million equity raise at a 70% premium to the stock reference price. This allowed us to acquire 15 Bitcoins, and then we proceeded with a 2.5 million equity raise 1 month later with the entry of Adam Back, the only person mentioned in the Bitcoin white paper and CEO of Blockstream, and the holding company of Yves Chefati, the founder of Tobam, a French 2 billion asset manager leading in Bitcoin. This allowed us, with a 40% premium approximately on the stock reference price, to raise our total holdings of Bitcoin to 40 Bitcoin. We then obtained the validation of our extraordinary general meeting in February 2025 to raise up to 300 million euros in equity or instruments that give access to equity. We then proceeded to a 48 million world first Bitcoin denominated convertible bond that was directly subscribed in Bitcoin, and our debt and our assets are denominated in Bitcoin, which didn't increase our credit risk because both our assets and liabilities on this operation through an SPV in Luxembourg are denominated in Bitcoin. With a 5-year maturity and benchmark conditions, this allowed us to increase significantly our Bitcoin on the balance sheet to 620 Bitcoin, going into the 30 biggest holders of Bitcoin in the public companies list at the time, and allowed us to generate this 700+% BTC yield. We then proceeded to a share subscription warrants program to make all of our shareholders participate to the Bitcoin Treasury company strategy. We have mobilized different financial instruments, and we can mobilize more financial instruments to maximize BTC yield. So far, we have used equity in private placement, we have used Bitcoin convertible bonds, we have used share subscriptions, warrants, and we are authorized to do public offerings and fiat convertible bonds. The objective of all of these financial instruments is to maximize BTC yield, which is the increase in the number of Bitcoin per fully diluted share over time. So the blockchain group is fully focused on increasing BTC per fully diluted share over time. Now, over the time, we have had many discussions with investors, and one of the key aspects is how to value a Bitcoin treasury company. Well, there are 3 pillars to value a Bitcoin treasury company, and French asset manager Tobam has mathematically demonstrated how Bitcoin treasury companies can outperform Bitcoin despite unchanged premiums. And this is a paper that has been published and that has been a top paper since its publication. The first factor is BTC yield. It is the increase in the number of Bitcoin per share over time. The second one is Bitcoin performance. It is the increase in the fiat value of Bitcoin to which company has exposure. And the third one is BTC premium, the ratio of the market cap relative to the BTC net asset value. And what is possible to observe is that with a constant premium, you are able as a Bitcoin treasury company, as has been shown by MicroStrategy and Strategy now, to outperform Bitcoin with a constant premium. And those are the 3 factors that of course are interrelated and that should be taken into account to value a Bitcoin treasury company, not only the BTC premium. The blockchain group is focused on BTC yield. And what that meant is that, for example, to give you an example, an illustration, is that we were able on the last operation for Q1 2025 to increase our shares on a fully diluted basis by about 100%, while at the same time increasing our BTC total holdings by a factor of 1450%. And this is what led us to going from 41 sats per fully diluted shares to 332 sats per share. And with this, TBG has delivered record 709% BTC yield year to. And TBG has adopted key BTC KPIs as invented by Strategy. Those key BTC KPIs are BTC yield, as mentioned, BTC gain, and BTC euro gain. BTC gain is of 283 Bitcoin for Q1 2025, representing a 23.2 million BTC euro gain, which is in itself higher than the revenue of the company for the whole year last year. TBG is following the steps of top Bitcoin treasury companies as Strategy and Metaplanet in America and in Asia. And if we look at the performances of those top Bitcoin treasury companies, we see that the blockchain group is tracking the performance if we look at the cumulated share price growth since the adoption of their respective Bitcoin treasury company strategies. MicroStrategy, now Strategy, is up over 6 months about 688%, Metaplanet by 400%, and the blockchain group by 474%. Over 1 year, Metaplanet is up 1,700%, Strategy plus 500%, and over 5 years, Strategy is up by 3,000%. The conclusion there is that Bitcoin treasury companies are the fastest growing companies, and adopting Bitcoin is the best way to maximize value for shareholders on a Bitcoin standard over the long run. And TBG plans to accelerate its Bitcoin treasury company strategy. TBG ambitions to acquire 1% of the total BTC supply over 8 years. That would mean a potential capital raising capacity increase from 150 to 300 million in FY25 towards 5 to 10 billion in FY28 to 29, towards 50 to 100 billion in FY32 to 33. That would mean potential total BTC holdings for TBG of 21 to 42k BTC in FY28 to 29, towards 170k to 260k BTC in FY32 to 33. And so if BTC reaches 1 to 2 million per Bitcoin by 2033 to 35, TBG potential total BTC net asset value, meaning without including a premium, for 210k BTC on the balance sheet could represent a valuation of 210 to 420 billion euros by 2033 to 2035. That would mean in these conditions that TBG could become Europe's largest publicly traded corporation. Thank you. And always make sure to focus on Bitcoin per share increase over time. I will be very much looking forward to your comments and hopefully to seeing you in person, either at Strategy World 2025 in Orlando, where I will be giving a keynote on the blockchain group's journey as Europe's first Bitcoin treasury company, and as well in Bitcoin Vegas 2025. Looking forward to seeing you there. Cheers.